Alright, so many students face problem in the area of average velocity. It's an average speed. So this video will help you understand how to solve the questions of average speed and average velocity. These questions which you see, have the overall journey divided into multiple parts. So if you see this question, it says that 1/3 of the journey is with a speed of 5 meters per second. So the first step in such questions is to understand the journey itself. So if I were to draw the diagram, let me say that the initial position is A and the final position is B. If you notice, there is 1/3 mentioned, then next 1/3, and then the last 1/3, which means there are three parts of the journey. So journey has three parts: first part, the second part, and the third part. So all of them are equal. So let me just draw the diagram in more understandable fashion so that you can understand it better. So let's say this is your first part and the second part is this. I am just redrawing the diagram so that it is more clear. And the third part of the journey is this, and all the lengths are equal, okay, because it says 1/3. So if the total journey from A to B, so let this be B and let this be A, if the total length of the journey is x, then each part of the journey is x by 3, x by 3 and x by 3. So when you do these questions, the first thing you find out is what are the unknowns in the question. So if you see, you have to calculate average speed, right? So the average speed is calculated, speed average is calculated with the help of total distance divided by total time, right? And you have to find it for the entire journey, which means you have to find the average for A to B. Now you don't know what is the total distance, so you said, okay, let the total distance be, let the total distance be x, okay, since you did not know. And then you used x, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in three parts of the journey. All are equal. This is what you do. So whatever is unknown, you call it x. So total distance is unknown, I am calling it x. Do you see that in this question you have to find the average of the entire journey? So in fact you also don't know what is the total time, right? So I say that let the total time be t. So the average speed of the entire journey is x by t. Now let's say that you have a situation where you are given that the how do you proceed now? That's a question, right? So we have understood that journey is divided into three equal parts, and we don't know the total time. We also don't know the total distance. So this t is the total time. We don't know both, but what we know is individual parts of the journey, right? So these individual parts are known. So let's say we go and attack the part 1, okay? Now if you look into the part 1, the average speed, which is, so I'm concentrating on part 1, the average speed, the speed average in part 1 is given to be 5 meters per second. And so what is the formula of average speed for part 1? Total distance divided by the time of the journey, right? You don't know the time of the journey, you call it t1. Let's talk about the second part of the journey. In the second part of the journey, the average speed is 10. So we write 10 meters per second. The average speed is equal to, again the distance is 1/3, and we don't know the time, we write it as t2. The third part of the journey, which starts from here and ends here, right, will be, again the speed is known. The average speed here is 15 meters per second, here it is 10 meters per second, and here it is 5 meters per second. So 15 meter per second is equal to x by 3 divided by t3. So the last part of the journey, it takes the time t3. The second part, yellow part, takes t2, and the first part takes t1. Okay. Now, if you see, we know that the total time of the journey, if you break it down into t, so t should be equal to, the total time should be equal to sum of individual journey. So this is the time taken to cover the first 1/3. This is the time taken to cover second 1/3, and this is the time taken to cover the last 1/3. Okay. Now, if I see my speed average of the entire journey, which is the question, right, is given by x divided by total time. We have to find the average speed during the total journey. If you notice, the average speed of the body during the entire journey. With the help of these three equations, if you notice, we have this, we know this, and this. Let's calculate T1, okay, T2 and T3. So if I put 5 is equal to x upon, this will become x by 3 T1. So T1 will be equal to x upon 15 seconds, right? If I calculate T2 here, the T2 will become x by 30. How? Because it is 10 is equal to x by 3 T2. So I will take T2 cross multiply. T2 is equal to x upon 30. And from here we will get T3 is equal to x upon 45, because 15 will come here and T3 will go here. So now we know the individual times in the distance, right? X. So total time is equal to x by 15 plus x by 30 plus x by 45. This is the total time of the journey. And what is the total distance? X, right? So this is the entire journey. Entire journey. So x divided by total time, which we have found out, x by 15 plus x by 30 plus x by 45 is equal to x. Let's take the LCM below. 90. 15 6 are 6x plus 3x plus 2x is equal to x divided by, this is 5, 11 x upon 90. So this will become x multiplied by 90 upon 11x. This will go away. So this is your answer. This is the average velocity during the entire journey. So how did I will just quickly revise as to how we solved this problem. The first step is to draw the diagram. Always draw a diagram. And as per the question, I split the total journey into 3 parts: first, second, and third. This is step number 1. Step number 2 is to identify what are the unknowns in the questions. Identify the unknowns and give them a name. The total distance was unknown. I called it x, and the total time was unknown. I called it t. Right? This was for the entire journey. Entire journey. Third, identify the knowns. What is known to you? You know, part 1, a substantial information is given. The distance of part 1 is given and the velocity of part 1 is given. The distance of the part 1 is given, 1/3 of the total journey, and the speed of the second part is given. The distance of the third part is also given. All were equal, 1/3, and the speed is also given. So identify the knowns in the small part of the entire journey, small parts of the entire journey. This is what you need to do. Now what you need to do is, with the help of what is known to you, try and calculate the unknowns. For example, we wrote three equations of time with the help of knowns, right? So we were able to find T1, we were able to find T2, and we were able to find T3. So this came out to be x by 15, this came out to be x by 45, and this came out to be x by 90. So now you also have some sense what are the, so these are the knowns, right? The knowns are the first part, second part, and third part. They give you good useful information which you can use to calculate the unknowns. After you find the times with the help of the known quantities and known knowledge was that each distance is 1/3 of the entire journey. Then you again go back to the entire journey, right? So knowns were there in the small parts of the journey, first part, second part, third part. Good information was available. Now put that to good use and go to the entire journey, right? The entire journey, the speed average is total time divided by the, total distance divided by total time. Now you know the total distance is unknown x, and the total time you were able to find using the small parts of the journey. Understood? So what you need to do in these questions is focus on small parts of the journey, use the small parts of the journey to find something useful, and that useful came out to be time in this question. Then you added all these times to convert it into an entire journey and used it here, as you can see above. So the logic has to be clear in your mind that you have to first use the information given in the small parts of the journey, find some useful information from the known parts of the journey, and then go back to the entire journey and substitute the values here. I hope this made sense to you. You will get a question on average speed and average velocity in your examination. Now let's talk about the concept of average velocity. Okay, in this particular question, since the initial point and the final point is identical, 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3, right? All are equal, and so the distance will be equal to displacement, and we know that the average velocity is given by the total displacement divided by total time. So in this particular question, the average velocity is equal to average speed. There is no difference between the two because it's a straight line motion. The distance and displacement are equal. A to B is also the distance, A to B is also the displacement. Go through this question, video solution many times, listen very carefully, break down the journey into multiple parts, go to each part of the journey, use that small part of the journey to find something useful. For example, individual times, add all the times, and then concentrate on the entire journey. The entire journey, total distance and total time will help you find the average velocity or average speed of the journey. Thank you very much.